Hi, Redeemer. Welcome to this week's FAQ. The question this week came directly from our survey that we sent out a couple months ago, and I've been working through some of that stuff. The question is, how do we not become arrogant in our belief system or make judgment on someone because of their denomination or a belief that is different from our Reformed theology? So I'm not going to define Reformed theology right now, but generally it's what we believe at Redeemer. Calvinism, a certain approach to how we view the relationship of Old Testament, New Testament, Christocentricity, all this stuff. But it's really not relevant. The point is, how does anyone not become arrogant in their theology? And I don't think this is an issue just for people in the Reformed camp. I just think it's a human issue. We tend toward pride. We can become arrogant if we are charismatics or if we are Arminian and can't believe those Calvinists believe what they believe. And this is just human sin and pride manifesting itself in whatever we believe. I think the secular world becomes arrogant against the Christian world. The Christian world becomes arrogant against the Buddhist world. People are just proud. So I don't think it's necessarily a feature of Reformed theology. In fact, I would argue the opposite. If you really get Reformed theology, it's the only thing that will combat pride, because it's the worldview that says you have absolutely nothing to do with God saving you or even revealing truths to you. And it's really just biblical theology. I believe it's Reformed theology is a term that I use to describe what I believe is the proper interpretation of Scripture. But think of verses like Paul says, "What do you have that you did not receive?" And it's a rhetorical question, and the answer is nothing. There's nothing you have that you did not receive. So your life, your breath, your salvation, your theology, your understanding, you didn't build that. You didn't create it. It was given to you as a gift. And so there's a power in that. The gift idea, the fact that God's grace alone is what brought you to a place of understanding, means you have no reason to boast. Or think of Paul praying, right, that God would give us revelation and enlighten our hearts. Why? Because God does that. God gives us revelation. So if we are correct in our understanding of God's power alone being that which saves and that which reveals, then we actually have no basis for pride. Any other worldview actually has basis for pride, because it leaves something, if not everything, in the hands of the human to discover and achieve. So how to not be conceited in your Reformed theology is to actually believe your Reformed theology. So there it is. See ya.